Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial, the Martin Houston Show fan page on Facebook. It is a Friday show live, 342. For business, we're back to our number today, 205-342-9990 for the Taco Casa hotline. Open for business for you to interact, call, and let us know what's on your mind today. Also, we invite you to join us via our social media outlets, Facebook Live, Martin Houston Live. You can find us there. You can also find us on Twitter at Martin Houston 35, at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. Would love to interact with you, get your thoughts and comments on today's topics. Or, hey, we can make it a free-for-all Friday if you want, meaning you can bring up a topic that you may have had desires to discuss throughout the week that we didn't get to, or maybe you want to bring up a topic from earlier this week that we discussed but didn't get deep enough into the conversation, and you just go back into that conversation a little deeper. And you can do that because this is the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports, your show, your team, where you get to help drive the content of the conversation. All right. Well, let's remind you, like we do each and every day, that this is what take some time today to know someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, Mr. Joe. How you doing, sir?
Oh, having a great day. Happy it's Friday today, Martin. Excited to be here and ready for some SEC tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday, day 2 of the SEC tournament, with day 1, of course, being the play-in game, Texas A&M and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt winning over Texas A&M on Wednesday, 79-68. Yesterday, Ole Miss taking care of South Carolina with a 76-59 win. Really, the only blowout game of the day, with Missouri barely escaping Georgia, 73-70, maybe a little closer than was thinking it would be there. And then Vanderbilt beating Florida. Florida beat 69-63. And then, of course, the game that we were all most interested in, Mississippi State and Kentucky. Mississippi State getting a win 74-73. That leaving today's matchups, LSU, Ole Miss tonight at 8:30. Arkansas and Missouri. Can Missouri pull a big upset? Arkansas, hottest team in the league right now, with an 8-game win streak going. And then, of course, you have Florida and Tennessee. So one of those, not really blue bloods, but, 2 of the top teams picked early in the season. One of them will be going home after today. And then, of course, the game that we're all interested in, Joe, Mississippi State and Alabama kicking things off on ESPN at 11 a.m. We talked yesterday that, I think it was 4 years in a row Kentucky had put Alabama out of the SEC tournament. And so even though this wasn't the same Kentucky team, we talked about, would it be a momentum swing or a potential momentum boost for Alabama to beat Kentucky? And I believe it would have been. However, Mississippi State took care of that hurdle and eliminated that question. So my question immediately went, is this a good matchup for Alabama? Because the two styles are so different in terms of Mississippi State. They're a bigger team. You have a couple big guys, and we had talked about Bruner not having that same bounce and lift he had early in the season, but slowly working his way back in. What are your thoughts going into this matchup with Mississippi State and Alabama?
It's certainly a contrast of styles, and Mississippi State's going to want to slow the game down and kind of muck it up and make it ugly, and Alabama's going to want to get out and run and have that wide open game. I think in the previous two matchups between the two schools, Mississippi State has done a better job of controlling the tempo of the game, but Alabama's been able to stay out in front in most of those games by 4, 5, 6 points, maintaining a pretty not quite a comfortable margin, but an okay lead throughout the game. I think that what's going to happen today is that Bruner having a week off on his knee. Hopefully, he's going to be back even a little more healthy than he was in the past, and we'll be able to help down low on the rebounding aspect of things, and hopefully stay out of foul trouble. I expect obviously to win Alabama, an 8.5 point favorite this morning. But I think it's going to be we always talk about, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. It's hard to beat a team, and it is. So I have to come out ready to play, and going to have to come out ready to impose its style of play rather than let Mississippi State dictate what they want to do as far as their game plan.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. One of the interesting parts of this game, Joe, is the first two games have kind of gone Mississippi State's way. And so you wouldn't expect them to change a lot, even though they've lost. A lot of times when you play a team, it's like, well, we didn't play the way we wanted to play, blah blah blah, and you go in and you make changes if you lose, right? But if you play the style you want to play and you don't win, and you really played your style, I don't know how much you change. To me, the advantage that Alabama has, even though, like I said, it's contrasting styles, or having Bruno, you said, hopefully with a little more bounce in his step. And I'm going to tell you, I think he's a lunch pail type of guy to me. And we probably don't talk a lot about him because he's not a superstar. But in these types of games, I think he does add a little something to Alabama's, physicality, and that's Jawan Gary in terms of the style he plays. Not really a guy that you're running your offense through, but he's an on the floor guy. He's a hustle guy. He'll get in there and push and bounce. He's not big, but he plays bigger. Do you see him even potentially have an impact in this game?
Oh, for sure. He's come off the bench several times and provided a nice little spark for the Alabama team, and I think he's going to need to do that again today. I think that all the big men are going to have to show out and play tough today. Your Rojas, Gary, and Bruner, all of them are going to have to play. Big minutes and play tough, because Mississippi State's going to want to try to pound you down low, and those guys are going to be challenged.
Yep, absolutely. So maybe Alabama can get the 3 ball in early. Their legs are fresh, and it forces Mississippi State out of their style really quick. That's what they were able to do last year a couple times to teams that were bigger than them. And this year, they have shown their ability to win any type of game. And so that's why you still feel good that regardless of how this game ends up playing out, Alabama has a legit shot to win the game and even cover. But if they come out and shoot and can get them out of their comfort zone, then I think Alabama can really run away with it. Got a couple questions I'm going to go ahead and toss out there for you to ask before we go to break, and we'll get to Pat before we go to break. But yesterday we were talking about if you were Nate Oates, what would you be asking for from a facility standpoint? We can have that conversation. Also, what's the hottest ticket? I meant to put a poll question up, but it got away from me yesterday. What's going to be the hottest ticket in T-Town next year? Of course, we'll revisit this after the season. But at this point right now, if you're making a prediction, which would be the hottest ticket? Would it be a Bama football ticket or a Bama basketball ticket for 2021, 2021, 22 basketball? You can, mull on that, chew on that for a little bit. But let's bring in Pat. Pat, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, man?
Any ticket where Bama's playing a major SEC school.
That wasn't the question, Pat. That wasn't the question. It ain't gonna be. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be difficult to get tickets anyway because everybody missed last year. I said which one's gonna be more difficult. Which one is gonna be the hottest? Which
the hottest ticket.
Will it be basketball or football?
The hottest ticket's gonna be. As you said, it's gonna be any major Alabama football game. There's no doubt that everybody loves a winner, and a football ticket's going to cost upwards of $200, and a basketball ticket you'll be able to get into any basketball game for $100.50 for darn sure, no problem.
Cost and hottest is two different things.
Okay.
That's like saying.
I thought that greenback ruled it all.
Well, I mean that's like saying if you buy a Honda Accord or a Mercedes, if you just put it on the price, the Mercedes always the hottest ticket. But if more people want that, here's the question. Here's another way to think about it, Pat. Okay. Will there be more coming out of the woodwork Alabama football fans this year, or will it be more the same? Or will there be more Alabama basketball tickets on the bandwagon, and will you see their season tickets go through the roof?
How about we put it this way? If you had a Mickey Mouse Stadium like they've got down at Auburn or over at Ole Miss, you wouldn't get a ticket. You will have a better chance of getting a ticket with 14,000, 15,000 hanging in the rafters at Coleman Coliseum.
Yeah.
Do you not agree with that?
Well, I think that based on the fact that our Coliseum is larger, then a basketball ticket may be one that you can get easier. But I think the basketball ticket is going to be pretty hot, man. I'm telling you, we're not going into this football season, especially right now. If you're projecting forward and you're thinking, "Wow, this team could really make a big run." Nate Oates, he gets Bediako. I mean, Alabama is expected to be right back in the thick of things next year in basketball. In football, you kind of we've seen it for the last 13 years, and you know it's going to be good, but will you enjoy watching it on football as much? I think the fact that Alabama basketball fans did not get to come into the Coliseum and see this team play as much this year, that there's a lot of people going to be wanting to be in the Coliseum next year to watch this basketball style live and in person, because I believe that basketball is going to be more of an attractive game in person moving forward than even football is. It won't ever match it out in numbers, but I think, tailgating with football and hanging out with your buddies and all that is a bigger deal, Pat, and not necessarily at the stadium than being at a basketball facility inside, in the noise, up close and personal with the players. I think basketball we may not have been here in a while in basketball, and I think you may have a lot of hungry fans.
Oh, absolutely. I thoroughly agree with you. I didn't get into Hank yesterday because of that Mickey Mouse tin can phone system y'all have. And I ain't talking about whoever put it in, but I am not just thinking. But hey, tomorrow I really feel like we're going to get another 5-star football player and in Emmanuel Henderson, and I think the biggest reason being is that Alabama looks at him as a jackknife type, not so much a Slade Bolton, but that this kid has very good speed, and when he gets to the NFL, would like to have a little tread on the tires. I think this tread on the tires is so much more important to kids now that have a chance to get to the NFL. What do you think?
I think that I mentioned that yesterday. We did answer your question, even though you weren't able to get in. Sorry about that. But we're back to our regular number, Taco Casa 205-34, Taco Casa hotline 205-342 9904. But we did answer that question, Pat, yesterday by saying that we think he's going to choose Alabama because they're talking about him not just being a running back, but being an athlete, that they will find ways, similar to like what they were doing with Waddle this past year. They'll pick that back up with him, and you'll also begin to hear you. It's becoming that term. Hey, they're graduating with tread on the tires, and I specifically used Derrick Henry as an example of a guy who waited his turn and then had one monster season, and we see that that's been parlayed into the NFL. And Najee looked like he may do, very similar things. So I agree. I think Alabama looks good for him in terms of what they're offering him in style of play, but also what they offer him in terms of tread on the tires. Well, Pat, I appreciate you, man. Go ahead.
Blessed day, sir.
Hey, Pat.
I'm listening.
Basketball, just FYI.
My information. Tell me, where do I go to this morning in order to get in and get out and get great snacks for the ball game?
You can go anywhere you want. All right, Pat. Have a good one, sir.
All right. Have a great one, Martin. We're going to find somebody that'll pay us to answer that question.
All right. Coming back on the other side. Bye-bye. Coming back on the other side. We'll continue the conversation with basketball. Which one's the hottest ticket? I hadn't even asked Joe that a question. So we'll see what Joe thinks. Which one is hottest ticket? And of course, I understand. Hey, hottest ticket is relevant when there's been no established criteria. But let's see if Nate Oates, even the fact that I can even pose that question and it be seriously considered, that there may even be a question, talks about how far he's brought this program in just 2 short years. But does he have to get over the hump, get to that Sweet 16, maybe the Elite 8? Does that impact your answer, or does it not matter at this point? How hot will that Bama basketball ticket be for next season? We'll continue that conversation and more right here on your home for Alabama Sports Tide 100.9.
Now the stimulus sale at Townsend Nissan on Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply. Come on, one more rep. You got this. There it is. Nice work. You're a beast. Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me. Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The big hurt, right? Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is Testafit, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass. Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves? Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance. Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix. No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text BICEP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help get you back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BICEP to 321-321. That's BICEP to 321-321.
Shoe Station Spring Sale is happening now, and you can save big on comfortable, stylish footwear from Skechers. Shop the latest Skechers collections, including Skechers Arch Fit and Skechers Max Cushioning. Text Station to 8757 for a 25% off coupon. Plus, go to youneednewshoes.com to enter to win free shoes for life or $10,000 cash. Shoe Station Spring Sale now through March 31st. Again, text Station to 87573 to save 25% on Skechers styles at Shoe Station.
Spring is almost here, and it's time to get your yard ready with the help of Port One Landscape Supply. For your flower beds and yard, they have pine bark mulch, pine and wheat straw, bag mulch, and topsoil. One Land Supply also has driveway materials, decorative rock, flagstone, limestone, and masonry sand. Bring your truck or trailer and they'll load it for you or have it delivered. Port One Landscape Supply. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 till 5. Locally owned by John Powell at the corner of Paul Howell Road and Highway 43 in Northport. Port One Landscape Supply.
Mom, I'm hungry. Popcorn?
We should live stream this.
Already am. With this new plan from Walmart Family Mobile, I get 40 gigabytes of high-speed data for under $40 a month. It's a limited time deal. Oh, watch out, loose ball. Whoa. That's double the data. No contract fees. Yay, buzzer beater. All powered by T-Mobile's nationwide network. Makes me feel like I'm a step ahead. Available at Walmart. Double data ends July 31st, 2021. Hotspot does not double. See terms at myfamilymobile.com. Walmart Family Mobile.
The weather stays rain-free today with a partly sunny sky, the high at 80 this afternoon. Tonight, mostly fair with a low at 55. And the weekend, warm and dry, a mixture of clouds and sunshine tomorrow and Sunday. Highs between 80 and 83. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 54 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith at Sophomore Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at southmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-99 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Good morning, you're on 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Got a question out there. Poll question going live first thing this morning on the Martin Houston Show. The question is, what is the hottest ticket right now, projecting from today? What would be the hottest ticket? Because I think if we make a run, then you add more data to it, then I think the question tilts even more in favor of basketball, regardless of where you sit today. The Martin Houston Show brought to you thanks to great sponsors that we have each and every day helping us do what we do, like the great folks over at Alabama One. Alabama One, your one source for all of your financial needs, whether it be auto loan, you're looking at getting into the market, you need a personal loan. They can help you there. Also providing great community services, outreach, financial wellness, and so much more. To find out more about this great company, go to alabama1.org. That's alabama1.org. All right, let's continue the conversation. Jamie McGee said, football, of course. When is it not a hot ticket? Well, never said it wasn't a hot ticket now. There's a difference between a hot ticket and the hottest ticket, right? Football is always going to be a hot ticket in Tuscaloosa. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think we were giving away tickets right before back in the Shula era. No, just kidding. But hot and hotter is two different things. Has NATO's done enough that this is even a legit question, I believe. So Virgil Williams says the following: I believe basketball will be hotter due to this. Football has always been a big ticket, but now basketball has got back to where everyone wants it. So basketball tickets will be hotter. Also, football is always winning, so the small games, people won't go to those, but the smaller basketball games will be sellouts as well as the big ones. Curtis Moore chiming in saying, it's an interesting poll question, Martin, but I wouldn't be surprised if basketball tickets become the hottest ticket next season. It's like, I love this. It's like the new girl in town, Joe. It's human nature for folks to want the newest thing out, and Alabama basketball success is the new thing. Just my opinion. Virgil coming back in. And yes, Martin, you're correct about the fans coming out of the woods. I've been a basketball fan since I can remember, even in the lean years. But now that Bama is back in the winning ways, you will see those fair weather fans come out. Come on out, fair weather fans. Curtis Moore, Virgil Williams, exactly. I totally agree. Curtis Lewis chiming in. Thank all of you guys for your comments on Facebook. Always remember you can chime in there. We'll bring it into the conversation at Martin Houston Live or at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. Curtis Lewis says, "This isn't Kentucky. Football will always be the hottest ticket, but we are loving basketball." So, got a couple other comments. We'll continue to add those. But Joe, I'll stop right there and kind of get your thoughts and opinions on it, and then we'll get back to a couple other comments from listeners on the chat. What are your thoughts, Joe? Has Nate Oates done enough to make basketball the hottest ticket in Tuscaloosa, or does he need to do a little bit more?
Well, I think you got to really look at it's kind of hard to judge in 2020 because of the limited capacity at both Bryant-Denny Stadium and at Coleman Coliseum. But prior to the pandemic, you could walk around Bryant-Denny Stadium and in a lot of games, save for maybe your LSU, in a lot of games you could walk around and find people giving away or trying to sell tickets for a very cheap price. So I think I'm with you. I think basketball is the hotter ticket. Maybe not the more expensive ticket, but the hotter ticket, the harder one to come across. And I think when you come into 2021, based simply on the numbers, you can get 100,000 people into Bryant-Denny. You can get 15,000 people into Coleman Coliseum. It's going to be harder to get into Coleman Coliseum next year because I don't think Nate Oates is going anywhere. You bring in Alex Sheik, who's going to get healthy, and you bring in J.D. Davison. I know you're losing a little bit, but you're bringing in just as much. So I think I'm with you. I think the basketball will be the hotter ticket. Will be harder to get your hands on. Simply because of the smaller capacity in the arena, the excitement level, and because of the way, it really surprised me the last time I went to Bryant-Denny Stadium. I did get tickets given to me, but my wife and I were walking around trying to go into our right gate, and we had people left and right trying to give away tickets. So I'm with you. I think basketball will be the hotter ticket.
Yeah, and so we can get back on schedule. I'm going to hold that thought right there. I am going to tell you why I believe basketball, as it sits today, could only get hotter. I believe the basketball ticket is a hot commodity as we begin SEC play. But I think it even has a chance to be even greater. And there's a few other reasons, and you hinted on a couple of them. You mentioned the word about what's happening in college football stadiums. I believe it's a trend that is happening, and I think that Nate Oates is doing something that's going to resonate as a whole, and you're going to see more excitement around the basketball program. We'll talk about that conversation. If you want to get in on it, go ahead and pick up the phone right now, 205-342-9904. You can call into the conversation, your thoughts, your comments, and we'll work those into the conversation as well. You're listening to the Martin Houston Show, and we're able to do this because of over at Overflow Express Wash. OverflowExpressWash.com is where you can find them online. It'll help you keep your car clean inside and out. That's Overflow Wash. Andy Phillips and his team do a great job. They got a second location coming over in Northport soon, getting closer to that launch date as well. Overflow Express Wash, overflowexpresswash.com.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, it's a pretty slow start to this Friday morning. Not seeing any on the roadways around town. However, traffic is getting backed up in one place, and that's the Chick-fil-A drive-through line. For the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, I'm Max Summers. Take advantage of big rebates and huge savings now. The stimulus sale at Townsend Nissan on Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard, right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Everybody loves Taco Casa. Everything we do in our store, we prepare in our store. We hand cut all of our tomatoes. We block and shred our own cheese here in the store. So we still hand cut our chips, our sopapillas, our taco shells, our chimalupa bowls. Our chili takes about 4 to 6 hours to make every single day. The goal in that is to provide the freshest, best quality to our customers. So we just look at it as, hey, basically, we're your kitchen. You're just coming to eat in your kitchen. Taco Casa, under the biggest cactus in town.
Are you a foodie? Do you love to cook? Here's some exciting news. Tap On It is giving you a chance to bring out your inner chef with their all-new #GetCookin' giveaway. The #GetCookin' prize package features a brand new KitchenAid stand mixer, a Chrissy Teigen cookware set, Magnolia cookbook, and much more, all valued at over $800. It's easy to enter. Just visit texttaponit.com/getcookin' to register. That's texttaponit.com/getcookin'.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com, that's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, Martin, you're on 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back in. We're continuing the conversation. What will be the hottest ticket in Tuscaloosa as of today? Because based on what happens in the tournament and what happens in the NCAA March Madness, this could really catapult Alabama to a new level. As we were going to break, Joe said that he believes that the Alabama ticket could be the basketball ticket could be a hotter ticket, and he mentioned several things. He mentioned something that he's experienced that that I think helps basketball be the hotter ticket. Joe, you said you've gone to games and there's empty seats in the stadium, and that's at big games, barring maybe an LSU showdown or something like that. You have to understand that the basketball facility, they made a decision, Joe, to take out 10,000 seats with the remodel,
so.
huh?
Yes, I believe about that.
Yeah, something like that, because there's a trend in football that I believe fans are they're having to do more than just the product on the field, Joe, to get fans to come to town as a whole. Now, Alabama has, we've been able to get past that. And, of course, there'll be a lot of hungry fans that didn't get to go to games last year. But I also think, Joe, I think a lot of people found out last year it's pretty doggone fun to watch a game with your buddies around the big screen, cooking out, hanging out. And I don't drink and all that stuff, but I still enjoy the camaraderie of hanging out with people watching a game. I think there's a lot of people that found out, man, that's a lot of fun this past year, right? And they still got to see their team win. They still saw their team win a national title, which is something that has happened 6 times in the last 12 years or whatever it has been. And so every other year you get to see what we saw last year. And it'll be a lot of the same. And you'll still be excited about that. But did you find a new way to enjoy Alabama football last year? Probably. Possibly. Yes. Okay. Well, some people say, well, the same thing happened with basketball. Not necessarily, Joe. How many people have really got to see Nate Oates basketball live?
Not many. If you went the first year, sure, but that's not the true product.
Right.
But yeah, not many.
Right. Like last year's product, if you got to go last year, you saw a poor man version of Nate Oates basketball. If you went this year, you are only one of a few, and you still didn't really get to see. Man, I love basketball. I've said this, and I don't know if I've said it since you've been my producer or not, Joe. Simeon and I, we always walk around claiming we're basketball players trapped in fullbacks' bodies. so, because we both were growing up, we both were the big men, okay? We just stopped growing in the 7th, 8th grade. So basketball was the thing, and we were dominant in basketball because you're just bigger than everybody, and so we've always loved basketball. But man, there's something like watching basketball in person when it's the right atmosphere. And for those of us who are old enough, Bama fans don't remember the Wimp Sanderson days. The young people don't. Us old folks do. And we remember what it was like to go and watch. And I'm not knocking that style of basketball, but that style of basketball in some ways would be comparing, not to the extreme, but comparing Gene Stallings' form of football to this past year's form of football. It's just more excitement in the offensive side of the ball. And in basketball, when you get to that point where you have the type of excitement that Nate Oates is generating offense with his shot and with his defense, Joe. And when you get in that atmosphere and it gets frenzy, it is an absolutely totally different. And the Platt Palace used to rock. I remember people standing outside of the Coliseum waiting to get in. Students would line up I think it was Tuesday nights. They would be lined up when class got out for whatever the game was to get in the Coliseum. We haven't had that type of atmosphere. That's the beauty of what I think Nate Oates has generated. And the reason I think basketball may have an advantage, Joe, is because he told us he was going to do something, right? And he delivered it, but we didn't get to see it in person, right? It's like saying, who's your favorite athlete, okay? Seeing if LeBron James was playing at Coleman Coliseum, but you knew you couldn't get in, it wouldn't be that big a deal to you, right? I mean, you'd enjoy it, don't get me wrong. But if you knew that you were going to be able to go watch that game and LeBron was coming and he was going to be there, how hot would that ticket become?
Massive.
Well, that's what we have in Alabama basketball is Nate Oates put a product out there that we all fell in love with, but we weren't able to go see. Well, coming next year, we're going to be able to go see it. And I think it was C.J. Watson said the concern is whether we cool off with the loss of Herb Jones and John Petty. Of course, that's going to be part of the process. But you know what else that Alabama basketball will have? And basketball, to me, it does a better job, Joe, in this area. And you can comment on this. Basketball, when it has new players come in that are big-time players, they get worked in quicker. They become obvious. You can become a fan of that player a lot quicker in basketball than you can football. And we're gonna be wanting to see Bediako. But you know who everybody's in Alabama? What are we gonna have this year that always draws fans to the stadium coming up in 2021, Joe, into the Coliseum?
Coming up the next year will be. My first thought is J.D. Davis.
You're exactly right. He's a local Alabama kid, and you go back when we get an Alabama kid, we jump on board as Bama fans to see that kid play. So when you take all of those things together, hadn't seen it. It's a trend that football is down. Is we have a new coach with a new product that is exciting, that is something he said he was going to do. In basketball, to me, I think may become a more of a in-person sport that you have to see in person more than football, unless they change the trend of football. Don't get me wrong. You're always going to have more fans at football games. That's not what I'm saying. But new girl in town, as Curtis Moore put it, we haven't seen it in person. We love the style. It's more exciting. You feel, because of your closeness to the court, it's just a lot of things circling up. Might be the hottest ticket going. Let's see what Tom has to say. Then I got a couple other comments on chat I want to get to. Tom, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, man?
Hey, Martin, what's going on?
No, nothing much.
It's Friday. You hit on some things that's interesting to me. I love the J.D. Davis point. You're exactly right. Herb, John Petty. I'm going to call them local. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Alabama kids. And everybody will salivate for them to be successful. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so you got that element. And then you got J.D. He's coming in. Everybody's excited about that. I know I am. And what he can bring to the table. But, it gets down to Alabama basketball. You got to have a good product. You've already brought that up. New girl in town with a good product. And that creates supply and demand principles and economics. And, when you got you haven't got as many tickets to sell with basketball as you do football. 14,000 compared to 100,000 is not. You kind of necking it down, increasing the pressure on the ticket. You know what I'm saying? And especially if you are able to put the product that everybody's entertained by.
Well,
you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and Tom, the other thing that we hadn't really talked about here is, it's going to be interesting to see, part of the basketball season ticket thing. I don't know if they've changed this. I hadn't checked on it, but it used to be linked to buying football tickets. Okay. And so, I think Nate Oates is bringing a lot of new basketball fans to the game itself. In other words, he's not just depending on Alabama fans who are football fans to become basketball fans. However, the university, unless they've changed it, and Joe, we can check this and verify it. But I know you used to, like, part of your season ticket in football was buying season tickets in basketball. That's why you had so many. That's why you have so many empty seats in Coleman Coliseum on a Tuesday. Fans, because of the fact that the football tickets are linked to football season tickets as well, it's going to make the product even harder to get.
Yeah, it's true. But the fact of the matter is, the seats are sold. You know, the money's in the bank on the seats. Now, where I've got a problem is where I think it will help is that people that have bought the seats that don't come, you need to get those tickets to rabid fans. You know,
you're preaching.
I've never been a season ticket holder because my work schedule has never been where I could get value out of a season ticket package because in the week games were so hard for me to make. Living out of town, work and all that kind of stuff. Then they hit you with an 8 o'clock game. You know, if you got to work the next day, it's tough.
Yeah. Tom, I would love for them to. I would love to see them do.
Depending on other people, and thankfully, there were 2 or 3 booster types where I live that were real generous people that they wasn't going to go to every basketball game and all like that, but they put those tickets in hands of people that did want to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and we need to do some of that.
Tom, what I would love to see, and I wish the university would help facilitate this. I would love for there to be some type of portal, a clearinghouse portal for tickets. Even if they just gave them to high school kids and underserved kids, that would come down. But like and they could, to me, they could do this electronically now with technology, where if I'm a season ticket holder in Texas in basketball, I could take my tickets and put them back into a portal, and then that portal, a high school in Birmingham, for instance, or Tuscaloosa or anywhere else, could go in and request tickets based on.
It would be robbery if you didn't start locally in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, and so
making it available for kids that would really love to go.
Yes,
experience the game, right there.
And being that you now can do digital tickets, I think it would work. I hope they do something like that because that would be a great service to the community.
There's something else I've noticed too, that when it's obvious that you're sitting like at the mezzanine level in the Coliseum, and there's empty seats down there near the floor, let people move down without a lot of hassle. Move the crowd down. You know what I'm saying? That helps, especially if it's a TV game. That helps in perception right there. You know what I'm saying?
Tom, I think you're talking.
Eliminate some of these things that they're claiming is a problem in Coleman. Of course, I believe going forward that Coleman's going to be like it used to be. Now, back when I went to a lot of games and had the time to go, that place was full and rocking. You know what I'm saying? You remember it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, when Robert Horry and Mike Davis and all the way back to Coach Newton and all like that place would be jammed and it would be rocking. I don't care what anybody says. When that place is right, it is a good place to have a game.
It is. I think it could be even better if they did put the fans a little bit closer to the court. And maybe you do that by closing off some of the other seats on smaller games. But you may sell it out with Nate Oates. We'll see. All right. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
All right, Martin. Enjoy the show.
All right. Hey, closing thoughts on this topic. Curtis Lewis said harder and hottest isn't the same thing. How many people that are fans of Bama football that wasn't fans before Saban, ? Virgil Williams replying back says, Curtis Lewis, a bunch. And that's what will happen with Oates and the basketball team. And then Curtis replying, it will never happen to that degree. Football is a religious moment at Bama, and basketball is more like a 1-week revival. Well, Joe, that may be true, but you know what? Some of the best revival started off as a 1-week revival and turned into a long-standing revival. I could name a few, And maybe that's what we have. Yeah, traditionally it's a 1 week revival. But if Nate Oates make a deep run into this playoff, into March Madness, fools around and gets these guys built in and starts off next season, well, I think just the momentum he's going to pick up season ticket holders. Percentage wise, there'll be more season ticket holders for basketball growth wise than there is for football moving forward. And we'll see an exciting product. We're going to wrap that up, come back on the other side. Joe and I'll give you our thoughts for Alabama basketball this weekend really quick, and then we'll also tease you for next week as we begin to focus on football.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, looks to be a calm start to a beautiful Friday morning in the Druid City. No wrecks are reported on roadways in Tuscaloosa or Northport, but make sure you slow down when you go through the construction zone on 2059 or you're going to end up with a ticket. From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, I'm Max Summers. Take advantage of huge savings and big rebates now with a stimulus sale at Townsend Nissan on Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good morning. Alabama begins its second year of the coronavirus pandemic with the lowest numbers of hospitalizations for the virus since June. DC-8 Regional Medical Center reporting 23 COVID-19 patients this morning, with 5 or fewer in intensive care. Perry, Pickens, Lamar, and Fayette counties are bucking the trend of falling numbers in West Alabama. Perry County now listed as a high risk for the virus, while Pickens, Lamar, and Fayette are at a moderate risk. The remainder of West Alabama still at a low risk. I'm Doug Rick.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors.
They got
Tuscaloosa
JD on the
Custom
line.
Curbing.
I told him you.
The consistency of our food carries over to everything we do in the stores. That's Taco Casa.
Mom, I'm hungry. Popcorn?
We should live stream this.
Already am. With this new plan from Walmart Family Mobile, I get 40 gigabytes of high-speed data for under $40 a month. It's a limited time deal. Oh, watch out, loose ball.
Whoa!
That's double the data with no contract or surprise fees. Yay, buzzer beater! All powered by T-Mobile's nationwide network. Makes me feel like I'm a step ahead. Available at Walmart. Double data ends July 31st, 2021. Hotspot does not double. See terms at myfamilymobile.com. Walmart Family Mobile.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
There you go. You're hot. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. I only got a couple minutes left, but let's get JD in. JD, you in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, man?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I'm gonna bring y'all a little insight as to where I'm at with the basketball thing. Die-hard Alabama fan through and through. Watch every softball game that I can. Never miss a football game. The whole 9 yards. But basketball was always a teaser to me. It was always, we think we're gonna do good, and it was not something that I would make it a point to sit down and watch. But I would keep my eye on the score and I'd be like, they dropped one again. But this year it's something different. It's got me excited. It's got me not wanting to miss a single game. It's got me looking for tickets next year. think they finally made a great turnaround in the program. I'm excited to see what's coming next.
And JD,
I'm just switching over to basketball. They're finally following through with their potential.
JD, and I think that's where I think you represent a lot of Bama fans. Hey, basketball's been good, but you really hadn't been a fan, a fanatic of basketball. But you now, okay, I like that product, and you got excited about it, and now you want to go see it in person. Where in football, you've been excited, you've seen it in person, you've been excited, you've seen it's not new. Anybody, the new show, the new kid, the new girl, etc. in town, you want to be a part of it so you can say, man, I saw, I was at, I experienced, and it's different. And that's what Wimp had going on with the Plaid Palace. I don't know what Nate Oates will be, but I think that Coben will be rocking next year if he's able to continue doing what he's doing. JD, call back anytime. I can give you a little bit more time, but appreciate you being a part of the program, man.
Hey, I enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hey, Joe, what you got for Bama basketball as they try to run up to the SEC championship?
Hey, I'm an optimist, so I think we're going to go all the way to Sunday and do the double, win the SEC tournament championship. Roll Tide.
I'm believing with you. Take care of Mississippi State, and they'll have an opportunity to potentially avenge one of their losses against Arkansas or Missouri. Those two teams got them. So we'll see. I'm believing with you, Joe. Hopefully Monday we'll be talking about the duo SEC regular season and SEC tourney champions, Alabama Crimson Tide. And once again, that'll feed this question. What's going to be the hottest ticket in town? Next week, we'll start talking a little football as well, and continue to talk about this hot basketball program. I'm Martin Houston. That's Joe Gaither. This is the Martin Houston Show, the Sound of Bama Sports, your show, your team. And remember, thanks to all the fans, thanks to all of the listeners, thanks to all those who chat, call, and talk. I'm Martin Houston, reminding you to trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9.
Have a great weekend.
You too, Roll